All right, guys, we've been really naughty, and with Rob's ninja skills, we've managed to steal a DualShock 4, and we have retreated to what has been basically the Access back cave, where we're going to give you guys a much closer look at the DualShock 4. It's obviously a key part of the PlayStation 4, and you guys have so many questions about it, and we're hoping to answer some of those. So let's start with, once you've sort of calmed down a little bit, with what is obviously from the DualShock 3 has been brought over and improved. So we've got triggers. Let's start with the triggers. One question you guys have all the time is about the triggers, because these are one really obvious update to the DualShock 4. So you've been playing with it, you've been playing Drive Club and Killzone. So tell us about the triggers and the way they've changed and what it was like using them as well.
Well, the first obvious change, they're a completely different shape to the DualShock 3's triggers. They're narrower, they're longer, and they're curved outwards, which is, making them like a trigger. They're kind of ergonomically designed to fit your finger. My finger fits in there really snugly. It's really so sensitive and responsive as well. Because of the length of them, you've got a really good range of how hard you can press it in. And when it comes to accelerating, the tiniest little touch of accelerate and you will start accelerating very slowly. And then you can really feel, you've got a huge range of movement there. And that really works well on the braking as well. Quite often in racing games, I'll brake and I'll go from going really fast, all of a sudden the brakes are on and I'm all over the road, but you can really kind of gently squeeze the brakes, slow down, take corners. It really makes, Drive Club a very, the way it controls is very, very responsive.
Amazing. I was playing Hokum upstairs, and it was alternative L1 and R1, and pressing those to go super fast, and it just felt really, really, really good. And if we're moving on from triggers, the next thing you guys want to know about is the analog sticks, because these also have a really, really obvious update as well. So tell everyone a little bit about those.
Well, you can see, I'm sure you can see, they've been completely redesigned, so they've now got this little indentation on the top for your thumb to go in. And I noticed it mostly when I was playing Killzone, and in quite a lot of first-person shooters where run and sprint is you click in L3, and quite often that can be hard, your fingers can slip off. This little indentation here just completely stops that from happening. You've got a groove that your thumb just kind of fits in perfectly. And even when you're in the middle of a hectic firefight and you're getting a right big sweat on, when usually your hands would just,
Beautiful picture. Just sweating and shooting.
When your fingers would just normally slip off, that greatly reduces the risk of that happening. And I was able to run and sprint and click R3 whilst, keeping my fingers on the trigger buttons. And it just felt really, really good.
Yes. So obviously the finish on the controller has changed a lot. And that's one of the really obvious things when you see the DualShock 3 in comparison. Just the way the gloss on the 3 hasn't necessarily carried over to the 4. So do you want to show, because it looks a little bit like rubber, but it's not.
Yeah, you can see on the back there, it's kind of mesh type material, which is still plastic, it's not rubber, but it does have a far higher level of grip than what the DualShock 3 has. So there's no danger of it. It feels really secure, feels really sturdy in your hand. There's no way that's going to fly off.
Dark Souls.
Let's be careful.
Off it goes.
But yeah.
Now you said sits in the hand a bit better. Now some of you guys, and you saw some of the promo picture, be like, it looks like a boomerang. Well, it doesn't look like a boomerang in my opinion, but you can see that the grips are a little bit longer, but still fit really well in either Rob's hands, which are, I'm guessing, much bigger than mine, and actually also fits really well. Even when I picked it up and played it, it was ergonomically lovely, hands sat really well around the grips. And
so if you have big hands or small hands, it's great.
So obviously those are things that have changed from the DualShock 3, but we want to add new features, because there are loads of new features. I can see, we should start with the one on the back, which would be our light bar.
The light bar, it's kind of when we were playing Playroom, it's kind of there to kind of, track the way, it's like a motion tracker basically. It was so accurate, and I couldn't notice really any latency in it at all. It was so solidly mapped on. I was moving it around. It just felt really, really great. And there's all cool little things you can do, like hide the light bar, and it makes the controller go dark, and the little robot's like, oh, where's all the light? And when I was playing Killzone as well, when I died, which wasn't very often because I was really, really good, it went red to obviously say, oh, you died. It's just neat little touches like that that really kind of, give that extra little bit of spark.
So moving on then, we're coming down, we've got that touchpad, which is also a button as well, so you can actually click it in, and that was used in Playroom as well, but it is a button as well as a touch.
Well, Playroom was really cool.
Playroom was amazing.
Because you click it to kind of, you hold it down really, and it turns into like a Hoover, and you can suck up all the little robots, then you can flick them out again just by flicking up on the touchpad. It's just really pleasant to use. It's like, it's not too slippy that, you can't click it nicely, and it's not too grippy that you can't swipe it's pleasing to swipe and it's pleasing to click. And the placement of the touchpad as well, you know, I know some people were concerned that, oh, am I accidentally going to touch it when I'm, you know, got my fingers on the sticks and the face buttons? No, you're not. You say you're pressing X here, it's within easy thumb's reach. You know, X, instantly onto it. You've got your fingers on the thumbsticks there, on the triggers. That thumb can easily come over your finger to click. It's kind of, you're not accidentally going to touch it, basically. You are not going to accidentally touch it. And it's really easy to get to if you want to touch it, which is great.
The motion functions as well to even drive. You were trying that in Drive Club. You were steering with a controller.
Well, I used to do that on PS1 with all PS1 racing games, just naturally, if I was trying to turn a corner really tightly. And now I can actually do it. And it's very sensitive. It took a couple of minutes to get used to it, but as soon as I did, you kind of, you know, that will turn you. You don't have to really haul it around like that. That will spin you off the road. So it is, you know, beautifully designed.
Now, one other thing underneath the touchpad again is a little speaker. Now, we've been told a speaker is not just for, say, you know, when you're shooting or clashing swords. It also can play music, and voice can come from it as well. And you saw that in the playroom, which was pretty amazing. You could hear the little robots like inside the controller probably screaming for help, but still sounding really cute. And then finally, inside, there have been massive updates to what have been the vibration controls and the way it works. And I think you can explain that because you had it in your hands during Playroom.
The kind of subtlety of it, that was one of the things that has really kind of surprised me the most. I wasn't expecting it to have that kind of the fidelity that it did. It completely fooled my senses when those robots are in there. You move it around, you can feel individual little bumps in there, like there are 20 tiny little robots in there, and you can hear them coming out the speaker as well. And we also saw a demo where there was champagne inside it, and you tilt it and you can feel the simulation of liquid inside. It feels like you've actually got liquid inside it, and obviously the speaker makes the gurgling sound of the liquid. So,
amazing.
You know, I'm going to use the phrase sensory experience, which is a horrible phrase, but it really, you know, really does kind of give you a whole new way of interacting with the game world, which is amazing. I thought it was fantastic.
Sum up then in just a few words, DualShock 4 for everyone at home, like your experience so far with DualShock 4.
Really solid. Like the grip feels fantastic. The triggers are really weighty and responsive. Gives you incredible kind of, you know, responsiveness when you're playing driving games. Touchpad is really pleasant to use. Vibration feels really subtle.
The whole thing feels weighty, solid.
Yeah, a fantastic controller. I can't wait to sneak past that security guard over there and put it in my bag and take it home.
Getting so much trouble, it's unreal.
And then put it on the mantelpiece.
And there you go, guys. That is the DualShock 4, and I am going to take it back off Rob before he gets caught and is in trouble with the really, really massive security man.